My name is Jimmy Staten, and I pastor New Life Fellowship, and was the church planter back in 2001. And me and my wife, we together with two other couples, started New Life Fellowship. And over the time, God gave us a vision, and in 2005, we began to explore that vision of having what we now have is New Life Ministries. God gave me a vision not only to be just a church planter in a church here in Huntington, Indiana, but also a vision that was definitely beyond what I ever thought. And in 2007, we started our soup kitchen. And just a few years later, we started that soup kitchen in the basement of the church. And we had this thought, it's like, we just kept getting just a few people, and we found out that we need to get this soup kitchen out of the church. And as I said, hey, we need to be out there meeting people where they are. So we just went over and rented a small building downtown, didn't have any money, and we just did it all by faith. And then all of a sudden our numbers they just escalated. And so from there we just began to serve meals 7 days a week, all the holidays, ever since 2007, and we do that every day.
My name is Bob Burnsworth. I'm a director of the food ministry here in Huntington County for New Life Fellowship. My job in detail is making sure that we have volunteers coming in on a regular basis, making sure the food's coming in the doors, picking up the food supply that we need, picking up donations whenever they call for donations. People call all the time for donations. We handle anywhere from, well, every night of the week we serve, so there's a crew of 6 to 12 people per night down there working. I make sure I have a team leader for each crew and a cook for each crew. Kind of like a family affair down there. I mean, want them all to come in, feel comfortable. We got some that come in, you almost have to turn the lights out and send them home because they just want to hang out. They just want to stay there and talk all night. You know, if they had their way, we honestly be open 24 hours, 7 days a week, just so they have someplace to hang out and drink coffee and talk.
It's open daily. It's open 7 days a week. We do one meal a day, and that meal is at 6 o'clock on the weeknights, 5 o'clock on the weekends. But during this time, we'll see people come in, and there's no cost at all, but people can come in and get a meal. I've seen construction workers come in. I've seen guys, I went up to these guys and say, hey, what you guys up to? And glad you guys are in tonight. And what brings you in? And say, hey, we want a meal, and you know, we're just kind of tired of eating Burger King or McDonald's, and there's some good cooks down here.
What it does to me is it gives me the spiritual growth of God. Well, I watch God work every day down at that ministry. And those people who do not get involved in volunteerism or do not go get involved in something within their church or something, some other program that they don't get paid for. I mean, they're literally doing it for a volunteer reason. They're going down and helping. They will be surprised how much God works in that ministry and works in their lives because of it.
The really cool thing about the meal ministry is that on Wednesday nights we have between 5:30 and 6, we'll do a kind of a Bible study, and people will come early. Another night is really another really nice thing about the meal ministry is that it's not just a meal down there. They don't get in the soup kitchen line and take a tray and walk through it. They just go and take a seat, and people will bring and serve them like in a restaurant. So they get served like they have a waiter. Not that we go to every snapping finger, but we kind of give them some dignity when we serve them the meal.
We have some people that go to our church now on a regular basis, didn't come to our church because they started eating down there. Now they've been coming to our church ever since, you know. But we don't know the lives we're affecting, how we're affecting them, and when we're going to affect them, and when they'll look back on how we treat them at the time they were down at the ministry eating. You know, it may be just a kind word, and they come back, you know, remember when you talked to me about I got my life together, or I started thinking about it. We never can take for granted that the outcome may not be what we expect it to be, but who's in control? It's God's life. God's got a plan for each one of those people and how He wants them to come out in their direction.
Well, the Women's Life House is a place where we bring in single women. They have to be age 18 and over. We had some that tried to come in earlier, but we just knew we just couldn't do that. But these women that come in, they're homeless. They have to be homeless. They cannot have another place to stay. We do take some out of jail. We are not a rehab center, but we do work with those who have drug and addiction issues, cutting issues, and some of those addiction problems. And these women, they come in, and they're broken. We do have a saying, if your way was working, you wouldn't be here. So we're going to try a new way. And these women will come in, and we have 3 programs. It's the immediate temporary shelter, and then we have the Fresh Start and the Step Up program. And all these programs are really good, and we interview the ladies and we find out what would be best for them, and then we just kind of escalate them where they need to go, and we begin a journey with them as they process, and we pray that they will not be the same person when they leave as when they came.
My name's Carla, and I am the director of the Women's Life House, and my main role is to work with the ladies that come in to help them become productive members in society, to teach them how and work with them on getting a job, saving money, and just being responsible. The Women's Life House offers 3 different kinds of programs. One is a temporary shelter where they can stay for about 5 days. The second one is the Step Up program, which consists of about 3 to 6 months, and that helps them to get a job and save money so that they can get an apartment. The third one is the Fresh Start, and it consists of the same thing, except for it gives them 12 months to stay there. How do I feel when I see that I can help a woman? It encourages me that the world can make changes in it if we work together on helping one another in each other's pathway. Some of the evidence that just proves how the program works is when women come back to the facility, or they come to the church and they just want to come in and say hi, or they'll call on the phone and just let us know how they're doing. There's been a couple of times where ladies will come back to the church and just pop in on an unattended day on a Sunday and just let us know that they're still out there, they still have their apartment, or they've gotten a new car or something like that, and it's very encouraging for me. What warms my heart is just knowing that the women that come through our facility takes with them the love of Christ that hopefully they see through me, and hopefully it'll encourage them throughout their walk of life.
New Life Fellowship is a church. It's a small church here located in the inner city of Huntington. And to do the things that God's called us to do is way beyond ourselves, the size of our church. We're definitely under 100 people on a typical Sunday. And what we do, feeding people every day, housing people, women, we just cannot do this on our own. And I think God allowed us to be that way, so we would have to lean on Him first. And we do it because God's called us to do it. We do it because God has initiated and purposed us to do that. We bought 8 acres out on the Highway 9, thought we were going to be the next suburban church, and come to find out that we're not. And God kept bringing us, because we started our church down in the inner cities of Huntington, and God just kept bringing people that were broken to us, people that were homeless, people that were just broken with drugs or divorce, or they were just broken people. And we come to find out, how are we going to help broken people when we're out on the highway, out in the country? There's just no way for them to come. And we found out we were reaching people that were walking to the church, and God just began to open doors. The more we stayed in the inner city, the more doors that God opened. The more we kept looking on the outside, doors began to shut. And we found out, why do we do this? Why do we have ministries? We do it because God's called us. That is the purpose of New Life Fellowship and New Life Ministries. Our purpose is to fulfill what God has called us to do.